may be scheduled. Okay, Vaibhav, what is the topic? Judicial
Ma'am, judicial.
pronouncements. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, my
Yes.
screen is
Okay.
visible now.
Yes, yes, it is visible now.
A very good afternoon, respected ma'am and my dear friends. Today, my name is Vaibhav Singh, and today I'm here to represent my topic, judicial pronouncement on the separation of power. Before starting judicial pronouncement, we should know what is the need of this concept. We can easily understand the need of this concept with Lord Acton's quotation, all power tends to corrupt and absolute power corrupts absolutely. In this quotation, Lord Acton describes power as a very negative sense, so it should be distributed because of its abuse. Now let's come on the judicial pronouncement. We have the first and very important case, Indira Nehru Gandhi versus Raj Narayan. In this case, the dispute was regarding the election in Rai Bareli, where Indira Nehru Gandhi versus Raj Narayan both are the contesting. The Raj Narayan's allegation on Indira Gandhi that Indira Gandhi infringed the provision of Representation of People's Act during her campaign. The High Court of Allahabad under Justice Jagmohan Sinha found Indira Gandhi guilty of misusing of government machinery under Section 123, Clause 7 of Representation of People's Act, and she cannot continue as a Prime Minister of the nation. Thereafter, the state emergency was declared by the President Fakhruddin Ali. In emergency, they passed 39th Constitutional Amendment, which limits the power of court keeping Prime Minister's election out of judicial review. Now, 39th Constitutional Amendment declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said that Parliament does not have jurisdiction to perform a function which the other organ is responsible. Justice A.Y. Chandrachud said that in India there is separation of power in a very broader sense. A rigid separation of power like American and Australian constitution does not apply in India. Now let's come on the second case, Keshavananda Bharati case. Before starting Keshavananda Bharati case, we should know some facts and provisions of our Indian constitution. We should know Golaknath case, the 13th Constitution Amendment, 13 Article 13 of Constitution, Article 368 of Constitution, First Constitutional Amendment, 24th Constitutional Amendment, and 29th Constitutional Amendment. The Article 13 is about the protection of our fundamental right, and Article 368 the power of the Parliament to amend the Constitution. In Golaknath case, the Supreme Court said that Article 368 fall under Article 13. It means the Parliament cannot amend the fundamental rights. But in first constitutional amendment, Jawaharlal Nehru introduced the very controversial Schedule 9 of our constitution. In Schedule 9, if any law or provisions put under this schedule, the Supreme Court cannot review on that law. 24th Constitutional Amendment said that Article 13 and Article 368 both are the different thing, but the Parliament can amend the fundamental rights. And Amendment 29th is puts Kerala Land Reform Act in 9th schedule, which is the cause of Keshavananda Bharati case. Now let's come on the Keshavananda Bharati case. In this case, the dispute was again regarding Article 13 and Article 368 of the Constitution. In this case, the Supreme Court said that Article 13 and Article 368 both are a different thing. But in this case, the Supreme Court introduced the basic structure of the Constitution. According to basic structure of Constitution, the Parliament amend some provisions of the Constitution, but cannot amend the whole Constitution. The power of amending Constitution is not like to power of rewriting new Constitution. And our Supreme Court also said that the separation of power is a basic structure of our Constitution. Now we have the second case, Ram Jawai Kapoor versus State of Punjab. In this case, the dispute was regarding Election Commission of Punjab High Court. The Punjab High Court said that excuse me, my slide is not working. Yes, ma'am. Education Department of Punjab government pursuant their so-called policy internationalization of textbook. The petitioner said it is violation of their fundamental right to trade and also doctrine of separation of power. The Education Department is executive department and it is wholly incompetent to make laws without legislature sanction. The Supreme Court said that Indian Constitution has not indeed recognized the doctrine of separation of power in its absolute rigidity. The Supreme Court gives the example of Article 73 and Article 162 of Constitution. These two articles talks about relation between legislative and executive. Now let's come on the second topic. Now let's come on the conclusion. In conclusion, we can say that All organs of the government perform their functions independently. The executive, judiciary, and legislature are not separate with each other wholly. They are work with together. Now, according to me, our heroes of our constitution: Nani Palkiwala, Justice A.Y. Chandrachud, Justice Grover, Justice Hegde, and Justice Jagmohan Lal Sinha. I am concluding myself with Abraham Lincoln's quotation: "Nearly all men can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power." Thank you, ma'am, to give me this wonderful opportunity to explain my topic. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Vaibhav, for explaining this topic in such a wonderful manner. First of all, this last quotation was quite impressive. This that people can be good in the times of adversities, but their real test of character comes in when they have the power. Such a true and relevant, and I don't know, such a perfect quotation this is. So, and very relevant when it comes to this topic. I must say, you all are little explorers. You are just exploring all these different quotations, different images, different ways to present your topics in such creative manners that I tell you, if you will tell your seniors or maybe your upcoming juniors that we had worked like this on these topics, they would get surprised that कोई इतने interesting तरीके से इन topics को कैसे explain कर सकता है. So, very good job, Vaibhav. First of all, tell me, where did you get this idea of drawing that Venn diagram, 368 or 13 wala, in your
Ma'am,
slide in your presentation?
there is ma'am Vikas Dev Kirti sir. His video on emergencies and Kesavananda Bharti
Okay.
from there I take that.
Yes, perfectly. See, कई बार क्या होता है, I think you people must have heard about this कि when I hear, I maybe remember, when I see, मतलब जब हम कोई चीज को सुनते हैं तो थोड़ा सा समझ में आता है, देखते हैं तो और अच्छे से याद होता है, प्रैक्टिकल करते हैं तो परफेक्टली याद हो जाता है. I don't remember the exact words in English. See, this is what happens when I will explain to you people this topic. I am thinking of maybe using your presentations to explain these topics, all of your presentations who have prepared PPTs, because your PPTs are so wonderful that not just my content which I share only textual content, but you people are putting so much effort behind making these PPTs and making it possible that students can understand things by looking at things. So when he drew that, he used that Venn diagram 36813 wala. So actually, he was talking about the core debate of that particular topic. Okay. When you people will read it in books, maybe the idea would not get this clear, but please try to remember and connect it with this slide which he has made, because I would say that was a good thing to do. Now, just like this boy, he started his presentation with a quotation. Similarly, he started his assignment also with, just like he started his presentation with a quotation, similarly he started his assignment also with a quotation. And keep doing this. After the point of time, this will become a habit, and in fact a very impressive habit. A balanced assignment is what I would call his assignment. Introduction proper, Montesquieu को भी थोड़ा सा space दिया गया है, and then he was talking about his judicial pronouncements in particular. My question to you, Vaibhav, is a very rigid separation of powers is present in the system of United States of America, in the political system of USA, uh, and a similar rigid separation of powers applies to Indian political system as well. Is this true or false?
No, ma'am, it's absolutely false, ma'am.
Yes, it is absolutely false. Okay, thank you, Weber.
Thank you, ma'am.
Next is rule number 140. Wait, let me tell you people all the